Between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Two teams that have met at least twice a year since 1932. The Lions and Packers underway from Lambeau. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
On first down, Stafford here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a first down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Packer pressure, and down he goes. The 6-time Pro Bowler, Clay Matthews. And it'll make this a 2nd and long.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
To throw is Stafford. And his throw here is incomplete. The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target. And it's 3rd down.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Stafford, and finding the tight end, Wilson. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
That's certainly playing down a distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Oh, look at that. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. Touchdown, Packers. A big play there. Touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Packers have taken the early lead. First quarter touchdown run. Remember this coming on the heels of his NFC Offensive Player of the Week performance. It was so great last week.
Did you feel the rumble all the way up here?
The big bodies up front.
Big bodies moving people, and him, of course, charging through those great holes that were created.
So off to a great start here. Maybe looking for award number 2, adding to the award that he won last week in the NFC. Jamal Agnew now to return it. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season. If this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now. Forget that. Think about what the playoffs are going to look like. The teams that we see that are already in, the teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Second and 10, Stafford again. The left side completion to Jones. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
A gain of 7, and they pick up the first. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Now here's the first carry for Amir Abdullah. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
When you think of Mike Daniels, you think of strength. Hard to knock off the football, but surprising quickness and ability to move and evade people. How about that play there?
Well, he can squat 600 pounds, so that's how he caught people's attention coming into the league, and he caught our attention right there. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down, but a nice little gain. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. Even though they might not find the number 1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they could very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing. They pitch it out to Cook, and he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. A tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back, and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 3rd down.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long.
Ohio! Here we go! White 90! White 90! Cut!
Now Kaiser. He's got Adams on the hookup. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A nice gain at 21 yards. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
Kaiser now from the 50. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Devon Kennard. Coming hard from that linebacker spot. He drops him for a loss of 11.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Second down, Kaiser. Flushed out right. Now he's going to send this one deep, and that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain of 32 that time.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. He'll be stopped short of the 25. The nice move couldn't free him. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
Now a 2nd down throw for Kaiser. Escaping the pressure right. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Ezekiel Ansah in there to drop him for his 11th. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. Kaiser to throw it. And he fires one, but incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
To return, here's Agnew. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Clay Matthews in there to get him, and that is sack number 15 for him on the year. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Blake Martinez. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get through you, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
The first red zone opportunity now for the Packers. They've got a 1st and goal to go at the 7. Here's Kaiser. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Devontae Adams, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. To return, here's Agnew. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Abdullah, and not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
It's complete. Abdullah. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A gain of 13 and also the 1st down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And an alley to run. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion 1st down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. The Pro Bowler, Muhammad Wilkerson, brings him down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. It's caught. Jones. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 18 yards there and a 1st down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a 1st down throw. Stafford. A dump off for Abdullah. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. This is the newest member of the Lion backfield, LeGarrette Blount. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10. The Lions on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 10. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
This is a screen to Abdullah. 8 yards on the screen there, not enough. And it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't...
And now look at him go. And he will take this one all the way back inside the 35-yard line.
Forget the idea of flipping the field. They have now put themselves in a position to score points with that big-time return.
Update now from a game going on in Pittsburgh. And the Bengals out to the early advantage. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
A toss to Cook. And some room to work. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a first down.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
Hey. You got 3. You got 3. 3 down. 3 down. Check. Switch.
They run again on first down. Cook, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay. So we've come upon halftime here in... You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Flex round.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
A give. This is Cook. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. A'Shawn Robinson there on the stop.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on third down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. So we're going to look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
Now it's Stafford. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. First target, first catch, and a first down. Stafford now 12 of 17 through the air as he leads his guys up on first down. Stafford. And Jones has it over the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made. And that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
A gain of 3, second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Stafford. And that is incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Throwing on third down, Stafford. Throw left side complete. It's Jones. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there, a 22.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that.
And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out, and the Packers pick it up. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them pass it, has it? I mean, they've dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. Touchdown, Packers. Great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Packers add on to their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? To throw on second down to Stafford. And his throw is incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. To throw on third down, Stafford, and that is incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Deshaun Kaiser making his way out to the huddle. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the third quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them, hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off, let him chew up the yardage in big plays, and your team's winning. Only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with the recipe of the ground game. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
The left side throw complete to Adams. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
All right. 3 down. Hey, check. 3 down.
Handoff comes to Cook. And he's got some space here. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So Keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
To throw, Kaiser. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. It's caught at the 10. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams, his second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Packers add 6 to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Crosby with the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. To return, here's Agnew. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
That throw good for 4. It's second down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat.
Back now at Lambeau. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. From the gun on third down. Stafford. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
This complete to Jones. And he's got this down to the 35. 12 more yards there and another first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
On first down, it's Stafford. And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 more there and another first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
He finds Whittick complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And they have secured that spot in the playoffs, clinching the NFC North division, in fact. So for the moment, they'd be hosting a wild card game in round 1.
And that's cause for celebration because anytime you're in the playoffs, you're happy.
And now nothing but green ahead of him. Touchdown, Packers. A great play there with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Packers are pouring it on. Now Crosby for the point after. Crosby connects on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Crosby on now to kick it away. To return, here's Agnew. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 23. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Back to the air. Stafford on 2nd down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Stafford gives to Abdullah on the draw. And some room to roam now. Amir Abdullah. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Amir Abdullah, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Extra point good by Prater. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Isaiah McKenzie now on the return. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. He is north of 200 yards. Any time that you can say you're north of 200 yards, you've done something right.
Yeah, you're going to get some big check marks on your grade sheet, and you're going to be in heavy rotation on all the highlight shows, and you might even make a magazine cover or two.
He's hoping for more, the cherry on top maybe, as this game goes forward. They start the drive with Cook across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Dante Hightower on the stop.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Tight end right, tight end right. 4 down, alert.
3rd and long for Kaiser. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The former Pro Bowler Glover Quinn there making the play. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
To throw is Stafford. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. That catch puts him right at 100 yards receiving now, and it also gives him a 1st down. On 1st down, Stafford here. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
This defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, you know, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that had... been very good before, now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there. And
after review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one goes for 24 yards. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Hey. 4 down.
Stafford on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Back to throw, Stafford. And Abdullah lost the football. And this is going to be Packer football.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Deshaun Kaiser making his way out to the huddle. He has really been buoyed here by a strong running attack. They've been great on the ground.
And have enjoyed the entire process because oftentimes when you're running the football well, that's much more of a team effort. Everyone has to come together to make it work. Offensive line, wide receivers, the tight ends when they're on the field, maybe an extra running back leading. It is a really nice thing to see, a team type of thing. And guess what? The quarterback, he can get out of the locker room a whole lot faster after this game. The interviews are going to go to the running back.
Yeah, now we hit the home stretch here in the fourth with their lead. And they're throwing here. Kaiser throwing the out route incomplete. That's Adams. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down. He's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
But right now, maybe they're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
Flush to his right. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. They'll throw again. Kaiser. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
2 incompletions haven't moved him any closer, and likely throwing again, you'd have to think on 3rd and goal here.
Flex round! Flex round!
To the air again, Kaiser. Oh, Kaiser can't get away, and he'll go down. Sean Robinson in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now You know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
The Packers defense here getting ready. They've got the victory in sight. You've been in this spot before back in your playing days. How nice is it to go out there pretty much knowing this is a victory?
It's beyond nice. It's what you build for each and every week that you're getting ready to play. And that's a tough, long week of practice. But to be able to turn it into a win and be able to enjoy it,
yeah. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown.
Well, you start to feel sorry now for the young man throwing the football. This is really turning into a disaster.
Listen, it's baptism. All right, this is almost a rite of passage. This young in the league, go back and find a Hall of Fame quarterback and check their records for their first 2 years, especially if they started the bulk of the games. I bet you'll find double-digit interceptions on just about every one of them. They have to learn as they go along. I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot.
No.
No, okay.
Hey, you ready? Blue 60.
Stafford here coming off his pick 6. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. Throwing is Stafford. The completion to Riddick. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That catch good for 5. It's third down. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. And now whistles and a flag. And I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
Got a little antsy there from his Mike linebacker position.
Partner, there's times you think you've timed up the quarterback's cadence. You think you've got a read on it. He might have thought it on that play. He was wrong.
Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. One last throw here for Stafford. He's going to let it flop. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Josh Jackson. And another mistake here defensively as a flag is down on the tackle. And that's going to tack on 15 more.
Defense.
Of course, the game can't end with a defensive penalty, so they'll get one more crack.
So now you get an untimed play, which should be the last one, unless it happens again and there's another defensive penalty.
On the carry, it's Cook.